Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Pro Line. The college football season is complete. What an amazing finish to the BCS. And just an unbelievable game by Auburn and Florida State, a thriller. And now we move on to the NFL playoffs, taking complete center stage. And the first week of the playoffs were just incredible. As exciting as I've ever seen. Only one game that wasn't suspenseful. The other three toss-ups going right to the wire. So hopefully some good sides and opinions coming up for this weekend's action with Jim Feist, Jeff Side from LVSS. I'm Dave Cokin. It's great to have you guys with us. And Jim, we'll start with you. I'll tell you what, it's been a great season, and here you go, NFL playoffs, and ready to fire off a real big game. There's one matchup this weekend that's just on top of the chart for you.
Well, I do have a game of the year going this weekend, Dave. In addition to that game of the year, I have some very strong plays on some totals. My totals this year have been incredible. My record for the season is 39-24-1. Just absolutely incredible. A lot of these lines last week were very close. You have to shop for numbers. Of course, there's three games that were down to the wire, but the totals were excellent again. And this week, I have the NFL playoff game of the year. It's $100 online, but you can get it for $25 with a bonus NBA play tonight if you sign up early. Just call 1-866-841-1655. That's $25. You get the game of the year. You get an NBA bonus. 1-866-841-1655. Dave, it was a fabulous weekend last week. Topped it off with the Auburn win last night. And we look forward to closing out the NFL season in the same fashion.
You know, I had Auburn as well. Was real happy with that result. Actually closed the Bulls pretty well. Overall, my bowl performance was not what it should have been. And just going to call it straight, I made some mistakes as far as some of the bowl games are concerned. The other stuff's been going pretty well, though. They got some really big play winners. And college basketball is off to an enormous start. It's actually the best. I think it's the best start I've had in 5 or 6 years in college hoops. If you just played a flat $100 on every college basketball game I've given out so far, you're already up well over $2,000. That's a lot. And that's without adding in any, extra units for bigger plays. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. As we're recording this, there are 25 days left in the month of January. And I'm going to give you the entire rest of the month. Not only college basketball, but I'm going to include the NBA. I'm going to include the NFL playoffs as well. 25 days for $25. $1 per day. Plus, along the way, I'm going to have my college basketball game of the month and a couple of conference games of the year coming up. You're going to get those included. So you're getting a ton for $25. Get in right now on this. $1 a day, you're just not going to do any better than that. 1-866-896-1629 is the call. Is the number to call. 1-866-896-1629. They could be real happy with the results if you take advantage of this. Jeff, you had a solid Saturday, an even better Sunday. Big play winner in Michigan State this past Saturday. What have you got coming up next?
Well, not only that, but since week 12 of the NFL season, I'm 28-12. That's 70%. And just like you, I'm doing fantastic in college basketball for the entire season, nearly 60% against the spread, 71-51. And this week I have my college game of the month, $99 online, but you can get it for $35 with a guarantee you'll win or play through the March tournament for free. And if you sign up early, get my NFL playoff total of the year. Just call LVSS 1-866-575-8916, 1-866-575-8916.
All right, we always do a Twitter question of the week. We want you to follow us on Twitter at Jim Feist Sports or friend us on Facebook at Proline TV. This is from Greg Nason. He lives in Wichita, where they've got a pretty good basketball team this year, by the way. The Super Bowl moved from Pick'em to NFC -3, 49 in about 3 weeks. Who is moving that, the money or the odds makers? Jim, the odds makers make some adjustments pretty quickly. I don't think this is money. This is the odds makers.
Well, I don't know. Personally, I thought the pick'em was absolutely absurd.
I don't think it was a good.
I made the NFC 7 at the beginning of the year, and I have not lowered it. The defensive teams on the NFC side are far superior to anything the AFC has. None of the AFC teams rank high in defense. The only team that did is gone. That's Cincinnati. New England's there, no defense. You got Denver there, no defense. These teams in the AFC do not have strong physical defensive presence. The strongest defenses are Carolina, Seattle, San Francisco. They're the strongest defensive teams. And defenses win these big games. Plus, they all have good quarterbacks. They're not bums. And this is a quarterback league. So when you look at the running game, the defenses, and you look at the quarterbacks, I made the NFC 7 at the beginning of the year. I bet them at Pick'em. I'm ridiculous. Maybe the odds makers moved the number, but I got 20 large on the NFC at Pick'em.
Yeah, boy, you're going to be set up to do all kinds of good stuff. You can. I mean, there's some middling opportunities that are going to be, I think, very significant if you get the right teams in the Super Bowl. It could be awesome. So that's a nice setup when you can figure out where the line's probably going to go in advance. You get a chance to make yourself some real money. You end up putting the odds in your favor when that happens. But one thing you're not going to do is fool the odds makers too often. So on those rare occasions where they might put something out there where you get the advantage, you need to step in and take care of that pretty quickly. All right, let's talk about a football game, guys. Jeff, we got the Colts and Patriots matching up on Saturday. Indianapolis with the second largest comeback in NFL playoff history this past weekend, 38-10. They got no shot. I tell you what, when it was 38-24, I'm not saying I knew they were going to win, but I knew they had a shot at that point. And sure enough, they took the game over and got the victory. Great win. Now they have to go in and face a rested New England Patriots team that has a little bit of playoff experience.
Yeah, the Colts have been probably the hardest team for me to handicap the entire season, but I lucked out Saturday. I got them at a pick'em. So, but they've had big wins at San Francisco and Kansas City. They got blown out at Arizona. A tough team to figure out. But lately they've been hot. They won the last 4 games by the 3 games before that they won by considerable margins. But they did allow over 500 yards against Kansas City. Now they got to face a balanced offense in New England. The Patriots are 10th in passing, 9th in rushing. They got all that depth at running back with Blunt, Ridley, and Vereen. Starting safety Leron Landry could be out for the Colts with a concussion. On offense, Darius Hayward-Bay has a hamstring injury. They picked up Deion Branch, of all people, to fill in there. The Pats are 2-9 against the spread the last 11 playoff games, but it's so difficult to go against Belichick and Brady and company in a playoff game, especially at home. We'll have to see. Maybe the Colts had a little nervousness in the first half Saturday, and then maybe the second half they gained some confidence. We're not sure which way it's going to go next week, but I'm going to lead toward the Patriots in this one, Dave.
Well, if this were a regular season situation, in other words, if we had a game where the Colts had this unbelievable comeback, I think everybody would be going against them the next week, just based on the fact that the theory being that they've got to have a bit of a letdown after amassing a comeback like that. Now, because it's the playoffs, I think the idea of a letdown kind of gets eliminated from most people's minds when they're looking at mentally sizing up the game. I don't think that's actually a correct decision on the part of people analyzing the game. I think there is a potential for a letdown here. Not from the standpoint of it's not a flat spot or anything like that. It's clearly not, because they're playing for a chance to get to the Super Bowl, if they win 2 more games. So they're not going to have a mental flat spot in terms of not being focused for the game. I just wonder about what can be left in the tank, emotionally and physically, coming out of a game like that. It's really difficult, especially when the other team is rested. You've also got as good a coach as there is on the other side with Bill Belichick. Listen, he watched the game, and the weapon in that game was T.Y. Hilton. Had an unbelievable game for the Colts. Guess who they're going to take away defensively this week? I'll guarantee you that the individual focus this week is going to be on taking away T.Y. Hilton and making Brazil and whoever else is out there, Kobe Fleener, making those guys be the ones that have to be the go-to guys this weekend for Andrew Luck. Luck was amazing. in the second half last week. He wasn't so amazing in the first half. I think the Patriots are going to throw some wrinkles at him. And if New England gets the jump in this game, it's not going to be a big Indianapolis comeback for a second straight week. I think the situation definitely favors the Patriots. The numbers are, it's up there. No denying that. But to me, the first side to look at here is the New England side. Jim?
What do you think the line's going to do, Dave? It's 7.5 now. Where do you think it'll end up?
I don't think this one moves a great deal. I think there's enough underdog money out there to keep it in that neighborhood. I could go up a shade, maybe to 8. But I don't have a gauge on where it's funny. I know where the money's going, obviously, in a couple of the other games. But this one, I don't have a good feel where the money is. I would think, though, based on their playoff experience, I think the Patriots are a popular side anyway. And I'm not so sure where the sharp money is going to be this week. That'll determine where the number goes. I think it could be on New England.
I agree. It probably should be New England because of who they are and the Belichick-Brady combination. This is a very different Patriot team than anything we've seen in the past. And they're basically short passes, small receivers, quick receivers, but they don't have the outside guys. They don't have the the Gronkowskis or the Hernandezes anymore. They run the ball quite a bit. They've been pretty good at running the ball. Much more so than they have in the past. I mean, they are 9th in rushing. I mean, that's hardly, in the past, they've been way down there. So it's a different kind of a team. Now, as far as letdowns and all that stuff, well, I'd like to throw that out the window. From my point of view, there are no letdowns when it's sudden death and you go home. I think these are professional athletes. They have a lot of desire. They want to win the championship, and they all feel like they can. And the reason they feel more so like they can is in the past few years, we've had a number of teams that are wild card teams playing every game on the road. Look at last year. Go back to Pittsburgh. You got situations like that. They're wild card teams never playing a home game, and they get the motivation and they get the momentum going in their favor, and they're very tough to beat. Now, we don't talk too much about what happens with the home teams. The home teams are favored. They're expected to win. They're rested, but they don't have the momentum because they've been sitting. Now, you got teams that have been playing every week all year long. Their football players are tremendous athletes. They want to play. Yes, they want to rest the bruises and everything else. But you can get complacent and you can get a little cocky. Now, especially when you have games, we're not talking about it, when you have games where there's rematches. This isn't a rematch game from this year. But, in that game, the Colts got way down. Kansas City should have won the game. And the reason they didn't win the game, in my opinion, was they had an enormous number of injuries in that game. I mean, they lost 4 players that didn't finish. 6 players were hurt, missed some time. Alex Smith never played a better game as a pro ever. He was creative. He was mobile. He threw good passes. But they just lost too many weapons. And Andrew Luck is just absolutely incredible. He's an incredible athlete, a very smart athlete. He is not a loser. He's a winner. This guy doesn't give up. And I think the rest of the team picks that up. There's a very dangerous underdog here with the Colts. I don't care how tired they are or how flat a lot of people think they might be. When you got a team like the Patriots, who are 2-9 ATS in their last 11 playoff games, that means, guess what, folks? That means they're overrated. The lines makers make their lines too big because of who they are. The value, I'm not saying the winner is, but the value is with the underdog anytime you're going against an overrated football team, or I should say an overpriced football team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I'll tell you that of the 4 games this weekend, this is the one I've got the weakest opinion on. I think it's a really tough game for me. You make a lot of sense with what you said, Jim. We're going to check in with our man on the street, John Crinton. He has a free pick coming from Mr. Vegas. John, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. Got a free pick coming up in the NFL from Mr. Vegas. It's a total. But first, Mr. Vegas has 3 games of the year going on Saturday. You get 2 college basketball conference games of the year, as well as his NFL playoff game of the year. You get all 3 of these plays for $9 with a 3-0 guarantee. You will go 3-0, get the rest of the month in all sports free. Mr. Vegas had his NFL game of the year. That was the San Diego Chargers when they beat Oakland 26-13. Last month he had his bowl game of the year. That was Marshall as they whipped Maryland 31-20. Goes for the trifecta this weekend. All 3 of these games of the year going Saturday. $9, 1-866-896-1627. Okay, your free play from Mr. Vegas is going to be a total in the NFL. It's Saturday night as the Colts and Patriots are battling in New England. You got a pair of dynamite quarterbacks meeting. The weather is mild in Foxborough. Quarterback Andrew Luck, he's off a monster game against Kansas City, 29 of 45 passing, 443 yards and 4 touchdowns. But boy, can this Colts defense stop anyone? They allowed 44 points to a conservative Kansas City offense that lost its best player, Jamal Charles, early on. Indianapolis is on a 6-1 run over the total against a team with a winning record, and they'll be facing Tom Brady and the attacking up-tempo New England offense. The Patriots also have a weak defense, 18th against the pass, 30th against the run. The Patriots are 38-17 over the total against the AFC, and the last 4 meetings between these teams, 4-0 over the total. Your free play Saturday night, play the Colts Patriots over the total. Remember, Mr. Vegas has that special on Saturday. 3 games of the year going, 2 in college basketball. 1 is NFL playoff game of the year. All 3 for $9 with that 3-0 guarantee from Mr. Vegas. 1-866-896-1627.
All right, John, thanks, and good luck this weekend. Free plays. We have them every day. There's one really easy way to get these. You don't have to call. You don't have to do anything. Just text. Well, for mine, just text Cokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 313131. I've mentioned this a few times, going back to when we started doing this. I'm over 100 games to the good. Now, there's, the vigorous factors into that. So you're not ahead 100 units. But if you've played 1 unit on every game, even factoring in the prices on baseball, you're up well over 70 units on free plays. That's a lot of free money. So no reason not to do this. Just text Cokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 313131, and you get back a text message with the day's free play. And, Jim, they can get yours in basically the same exact fashion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just text WINNER, WINNER, to 313131, and we'll send you a free play right to your cell phone. 313131. Text WINNER, WINNER, to 313131, and clink, this thing will give you a free winner each and every day. So do it.
Nice.
Do it now.
There you go. Not that exact phone.
I bring my props with me. See? And if I was selling water, I'd talk about the water.
There you go. I'm selling Dunkin' Donuts coffee here, Gotta have my Dunkin' Donuts. I'm a New England.
I got nothing.
No props at all, Jack. All right.
No,
well, let's head to the matchup to the 49ers and the Panthers. The 49ers off a very exciting game where they beat the Green Bay Packers. Now they have to go on the road and face a team that beat them on their home field this year. The Panthers, they shut down the 49ers. Will they do it again? This is a game where I think most people going in are going to say it's just going to be a slobber knocker. They're going to beat the daylights out of each other with physical play. And you know what? I don't disagree with that. I have a pretty good opinion on the side of this game. I'm going to keep that for my personal service players. But as far as the total goes, this is one of those games where, to me, it's kind of what you see is what you get. I think this is going to be a defensive showdown. Now, it's tough to bet unders in the NFL. The way the rules are set up, Jesus. I mean, it really is. But there are still certain games that stay under the total. And when the matchup is such as the one we're going to have this weekend, I really think that's what you're going to look at. Look, the 49ers, to score points, they need to run the football. Saw what happened in the game against Green Bay. When they got Kaepernick going on the ground, that's when they flourished. He ran for almost 100 yards and was really big running the ball late, almost threw the game away. The 49ers got out of there with a win. He's got a pass out in the flat that probably should have been picked off. And San Francisco's not even playing anymore. If that gets intercepted, the game is over. That would have been a pick six. So, I think the 49ers are really going to focus on trying to establish a run. We know Carolina's tendencies, very conservative. They want to rely on their defense to win the football game. Old school football, old school playoff football, I should say. This is what it used to be in the NFL playoffs. Defenses dominating. That's not the case anymore, but I think it might be in this game. Jeff, I like the under.
I totally agree. Unlike the Packers, I think the Panthers realize that Colin Kaepernick will take off and run if he has to. The Packers seem to have forgotten that. They were so concentrating on Frank Gore that they let Kaepernick run wild and cost them the game. I know the Packers had a lot of injuries too, but still, the Patriots, the Panthers defense, 6 against the pass, 2nd against the run. As you said, they won the first meeting 10-9. Carolina 7-1 straight up, 6-1-1 against the spread at home. They won 11 out of 12. I'm not sure if that week off last week is a good thing or a bad thing because the last 3 Super Bowl champions did not have a bye week. And matter of fact, 5 out of the last 7 played 4 games instead of 3. So sometimes it's good to keep playing, especially when you're hot like that. Carolina is only 29th in passing. The 49ers are 30th. And as you said, the total here is 43. It's down to 42. It might go down to 4 more, or 2 more. But this game, the 49ers have the experience. Panthers don't. So I'm going with the total also, and I think the best play here is the under, Dave.
Jim, you're the ace on the totals in this group, and you seem to have a knack for recognizing value as far as these over and unders concerned. I don't know that there is value here, but is it still a good play?
You said earlier about how hard it is to play unders in the NFL this year, and I agree with that. There's been a lot of money made playing the overs. However, last week, we should talk about that, there was only one game that went over the total. So we had 4 games, 3 of them went under. These games become one and done. I mean, there's no look-aheads. These people are focused. Their defenses are focused. The offenses are focused. Generally speaking, conservative game plans. I mean, look at the New Orleans Saints-Philadelphia game last week. You got potentially 2 high-scoring teams. And what did New Orleans do? They went in there and ran the ball. Nobody ever sees New Orleans running the ball. Well, they ran the ball because they knew that was the way, A, to keep Philadelphia off the field, and B, to slow down a pass rush. So they ran the ball. They came out with a victory. Close. There was a lot of close games last week, only 1 blowout. The same thing with San Diego. They've been, the last 5 games, San Diego's been averaging 171 yards on the ground, for God's sake. I mean, everybody thinks of Phillip Rivers' passing game, et cetera, Gates, all that stuff. But they've been running the ball. They got 3 backs. They're pounding the ball. That's the way they beat Denver the last time. So what you're starting to see is going back to fundamental football. Now, this is 2 teams that rank 29th, like Jeff said, 29th and 30th in passing the football. Yes, they both can pass the football. Let's go back to that first game. San Francisco had finished, I think, 4 games on the road, including a long trip to London. So they were on the road forever. This is their comeback game coming home. They were, I think, a little burned out. They didn't have Crabtree. Davis got a concussion in the first quarter. They had Manningham on the field that week, but he never amounted to much this year. This was a game where I feel the Panthers were more focused to win that game, and San Francisco just wasn't there mentally or physically. I'm not knocking it because I like this Carolina team has done very well, but that wasn't really a vision of what you're going to get here. This is going to be different. And San Francisco, the question about San Francisco, can they play at 57 degrees when it was 40 degrees below last week? I mean, this is a huge difference. And, that last week they carried 2.5 tons of extra clothing to keep themselves warm. This is totally different. This is going to be a balmy 57 degrees. And Carolina, by the way, I believe is probably the least experienced playoff team we have left. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and by the way, on the totals, talking to a couple of the local books, they've been getting inundated with overaction. They did last weekend, despite the fact that 3 of the games did stay under. I don't think that's going to discourage most of the bettors. They want to bet overs, and they've been doing well with them for the most part this season. Although I don't know that that'll be the case in this game. I think just the makeup of the two teams is going to create split action on the over and under. So good stuff this weekend. We're not talking about the other 2 games, but boy, there's some good reason to pick up the phone and take advantage of the offers we've got, because it'll involve these games and the strongest plays from Jim, Jeff, and myself. Again, I've got a great offer to get the rest of January for $1 a day. 25 days left in the month as I'm recording this, and that's $25 to get you all my action plays right across the board. There will be NFL action plays this weekend. I have more action plays than anything else, so you're getting the majority of my plays this way. NFL, college basketball, the NBA. There's still some NHL, which I do. I don't do a lot of NHL, but we'll get an occasional play there. Anyway, all the action plays are yours across the board, including a few really big plays between now and the end of January. And everything is yours for $25. So make the call to 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. And take advantage of this. My best bet are the ones we talked about here. I think it's going to be the under in the 49ers and Panthers. I think this could be an old-fashioned 17-14 slobber knocker. And I think it actually could stay well under the total. How about you, Jeff?
My best bet is the same, 49ers, Panthers under. And this week I have my college game of the month, $99 online, but you can get it for $35 with a guarantee. You'll win or play through the March tournament for free. And if you sign up early, get my NFL playoff total of the year. Just call LVSS 1-866-575-8916, 1-866-575-8916.
Jim, an enormous run all year, basically, in the NFL. Big play winner in Auburn. College Bowl game of the year was a really easy winner. Actually, the final score was actually misleading. Louisville was a very easy winner in that game. And now a really big play in the NFL this weekend. Some other big stuff as well, and at a price that's very affordable.
Yeah, and Dave, we've been doing really well in college hoops as well as in the NBA. It's been a really good 2013. We're starting off 2014 with a very positive trend as well. It's very hard to give best bets here on the show when you only have 2 games to talking about. I think I gotta go along with what you and Jeff said about the San Francisco-Carolina game. It looks all trends to the under in that a real physical battle going on there. Your best bet, I think, is to call all 3 of us. It's not a lot of money to get involved. Jeff's been hot. Dave's been hot. Mr. Vegas has been doing great. And I've been doing very well. 39-24-1 against in the NFL. That includes totals as well. I have the NFL game of the year going. It's $100 online. But you can get that for $25 plus an NBA game going tonight. Just call 1-866-841-1655. 1-866-841-1655. If you want to win, pick up the phone. Hold on, let me show you. Pick up the phone and dial. See, I'm into props today. You got to see props. Call the number 1-866-841-1655. Doesn't make it any easier than that. There you go, Dave.
Should I call right
I love it. It's all right now.
All right, that's it. By the way, pardon my smile line. I look minus a tooth. You want to talk about I got a quick story. Now there's some. I imagine there's some pretty good ways to break a tooth. You want to talk about one of the least glamorous ways to break a tooth ever? I was eating a Tums.
Not really.
A Tums. I broke a tooth on a Tums.
Oh my.
That's not too bad. I thought it was going to be worse.
You know, I used to, years ago, I said,
at least I should have been playing hockey or something like that.
Years ago, Dave, I know that it's unbelievable, the Tums. I mean, give me a break. But years ago, I knew this guy that was quite a better gambler, played craps, poker, everything, and just kept losing. So he'd go down and donate blood for money. They'd give him a couple bucks to donate blood. I've never heard of it. And what I don't understand is you've been winning, so there's no reason to start selling your teeth.
No. I wasn't happy. Just to elongate the story a little bit and complete it. Our good friend Pete Mastriani's restaurant up in Summerlin. I was scheduled to spend New Year's Day having dinner at his house. Was invited to a family party over there. This happened, unfortunately, on a Sunday night. Now, this is where it gets muddled and the story gets bizarre. I called my dentist on Monday, get in real quickly, and he says, well, you cracked it down all the way down to the root, so the tooth is going to have to come out. There's nothing they can do to fix it, to save it. The problem is, this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got to do the UNLV pregame show that night at 5 o'clock. So there's no way you can't. What am I supposed to do? Call UNLV and say, listen, could you delay the game for an hour because I'm going to have Novocaine? That's not going to work. So it's like I can't get the tooth taken out today. I'm going to have to just put up with it. He's going out of town for the week. So it's no big deal. Give me the, whatever the painkiller is. It's all right. I can live on it. The problem is I couldn't eat the entire week. Anything. I ate mashed potatoes, peanut butter, and soup for a week. So I didn't even get to go out for the New Year's Day dinner, which really stunk. So anyway, sorry about the gap in the mouth. That'll be taken care of shortly. We'll get some cosmetic replacement for that. So hey, listen. Oh, here you go. Hey, I can play the sympathy card here. Make sure and call the number 1-866-896-1641. I need to get your tooth. All right. All right. That's it. We're done. Listen, enjoy the games this weekend. Take advantage of these offers, especially, I know there's not that much left in football, and you want to get the big plays, but where the real money is right now is basketball. There's a lot of basketball every day, and you got 3 guys here that are on top of things and are going to get you winners. So call the numbers, take advantage of the offers, and we will talk to you again next week for John Cranton and Mr. Vegas, Jeff Saad, Jim Feist, and me, I'm Dave Cokin. Thanks for listening and watching, and have a great week.